Hi there. Welcome to my views and news. Two news stories. Firstly, where is Bereket Simon, the former communication minister of Ethiopia, Amhara Democratic Party leader, founder of the EPRDF? Has he arrived in the US? The man was released from prison last year. Secondly, Israel Hamas conflict. An important development there last night. Israeli military just 2 hours ago took control of Rafah border crossing with Egypt. This is the first time since 2005 that Israel has taken control of border Palestine Egypt border. Only connection between Palestine and Egypt has been cut off now, it seems. Firstly, viewers, Bereket Simon, where is he? When EPRDF was formed, it was a combination of four parties: TPLF, Amhara Democratic Party, Oromo Democratic Party, and Southern Ethiopian People's Movement. Bereket Simon represented Amhara Democratic Party, and he was a founding member of the EPRDF. EPRDF then ruled Ethiopia for around 2 decades. Then came the Prime Minister of Ethiopia, PM Abiy, in 2018, and some EPRDF leaders were arrested too. Later, EPRDF was dismantled in 2019, I think. The Prosperity Party was born, which is basically EPRDF. All EPRDF parties are now part of Prosperity Party except the TPLF. Bereket Simon was accused of corruption, and in 2020 he was convicted. He was sent to prison. He remained in prison, and last year the man was released from prison. It was January last when I did a video about Bereket Simon after his release from prison. And when he was released, it was being speculated that maybe he could play a role in the Amhara region, that maybe his release was the result of a deal. But after his release, Bereket Simon remained silent. Almost no political activity was seen from the man. And since yesterday, it was being reported that Bereket Simon had departed Ethiopia. Now, it is being confirmed by several sources that Bereket Simon arrived at Dallas Airport in the US. He was received by some people there. The man has left Ethiopia, it seems. Has he left Ethiopia for good? Will he return? Is he on some special mission? His political career already ended when he was sent to prison. But will he now stay in exile? Several questions, but only confirmation is that Bereket Simon has left Ethiopia. Obviously, the Prosperity Party, Amhara Prosperity Party leaders don't want ADP leaders to be in the limelight, to be in influential position. That is why it was not likely that Bereket Simon would be adjusted to some position in the Prosperity Party, in Amhara Prosperity Party. Let's see, will he speak while he's in the US? Is his departure the result of a deal? The man, I think, completed his sentence. He was sentenced in 2020, and he completed his sentence term, and then he was released. The release was not the result of a deal, but it seems that he'll stay in exile. And secondly, was an important development from Israel Gaza conflict. For the first time since 2005, Israel has taken control of Gaza border with Egypt. Since yesterday, we have been hearing proposals of ceasefire, offers of release of hostages. Talks have been ongoing between Israel and Hamas, mediated by Qatar. And reportedly yesterday, Hamas agreed to release a few uh, Israeli hostages. Hamas has released Israeli hostages in the past as well, but Hamas has not released all the Israeli hostages. And Hamas agreed to a ceasefire proposal too for 6 weeks. The other side, Israel refused to stop its offensive on Rafah. Israel wanted to take control of Rafah. Rafah is the border crossing between Gaza and Egypt. The only land connection of Gaza with outside world is through Rafah. Because on all sides of Gaza, there is either Israel or there is sea. There was only one connection with the outside world, and that was Rafah border crossing. And there were around a million IDPs from other parts of Gaza who were based close to Rafah. Because when Israel launched its operation against Gaza, it was launched mainly in northern part of Gaza. Rafah is in southern part of Gaza. So back then, Israel told Palestinians to move towards southern Gaza, towards Rafah border crossing. Israel launched a military operation last night. Artillery strikes were conducted on Rafah border crossing. Deaths of some Palestinians being reported as well, but we cannot say there was a large-scale massacre. The reports are still coming in. But around 2 hours ago, Israeli forces took full control of the Gaza side of Rafah border. Egypt has been uh, opposing Israeli attacks on Gaza, on Rafah. And Egypt has been accusing Israel that Israel wants to push Gaza residents, Palestinians, into Egypt through Rafah border crossing. And Egypt has been opposing this plan of expulsion of Palestinians from Gaza. That is why Egypt allows its soil to be used to provide humanitarian aid to the people of Gaza through Rafah border crossing. But it does not want people of Gaza to enter its territory. It says that if it happens, obviously, the escalation, the war between Palestine, between Hamas and Israel will spread into Egypt. Palestinians don't want to leave Gaza as well, though some left, but they say that Gaza is their home. Why should they leave Gaza, and why should they be displaced into Egyptian desert? So now, for the first time, Israel has taken control of Rafah border crossing. It means that now no humanitarian aid can be delivered to the people of Gaza without approval from Israel. Now, Israel will check all the cargo passing through Gaza from Egypt, passing through Rafah from Egypt into Gaza. Already people are in dire need of aid in Gaza. There is shortage of food. And Israel has been monitoring Rafah border crossing by air. UN and other organizations are also deployed on Rafah border crossing. But now there'll be more restrictions on delivery of aid to the people of Gaza through Rafah border. This is what happened. US has been opposing Israel's attack on Rafah. At the same time, it in a way backed this invasion of Rafah, you can say, because Hamas last night publicly agreed to the ceasefire proposal. But since Israel was fully prepared to take control of Rafah border crossing, it rejected the uh, ceasefire deal, or it did not agree with Hamas's. Let's see what happens. The situation so far is deteriorating very fast from humanitarian angle. You could see more humanitarian catastrophes in Gaza if Rafah border crossing remains closed and under full Israeli control. Israel has taken Gaza side of Rafah border crossing. Of course, Egypt is in control of Egyptian side of Rafah